for a deeper understanding on the official party statement that no result from the primary elections has been announced, despite announcements from across the states. I'm joined now by Felix Morka. He's the APC National Publicity Secretary. Thank you so much. Good to have you, Mr. Morka. Now, help me understand exactly what this coming from the APC headquarters means. People were assigned to oversee the primaries, and I guess, were announced results. But all of a sudden, we're hearing from your party headquarters that no, that would not be the case. The Abuja actually has to make all the announcements. What exactly are we to make of this? Is it that we should not trust the people that the APC assigned to oversee those primaries?
Ngozi, thank you so much. I'm sitting here and just wondering exactly what you were referring to, what you termed a statement by my good self. Now, the statement that you read, part of which you read, was not a statement issued by me. I didn't issue this statement. It's not even in the format of my statements, clearly not signed by me. So I have no idea where this document came from. It's obviously a fake document in circulation. So, I'm a bit surprised that you attributed this to me, whereas it's clearly not my statement. If you look at the document itself, I don't do things like that.
And your signature on
it's
it.
all very tardy, and yes, that's not my signature. And it says Felix Morka, FNIPR. I have no such appellation or title or honor or whatever it is.
Right.
Look, this is absolute nonsense.
Your name is there. You say that the FNIPR is, you have no such title. The signature on this document, is it your signature or was it cloned?
This is not my signature. It's nothing close to my signature, Ngozi. Look, listen, from the head to toe of this document, it's not mine. So there's no part of it that you can really, attribute to me. That's not my document. I don't issue documents in this form. And it says official statement. Mm-hmm. I don't title my statements like that. And it says from the National Publicity Secretary, I have no such letterhead. Look, Ngozi,
okay.
Quite frankly, this is absolute nonsense. It's
okay, great. It's good to have that clarification from you. So what exactly is this true state of affairs right now within the APC as it pertains to the just concluded primaries across the country?
Ngozi, let me just say that, from the beginning of the party in our constitution, there's only one entity that is authorized to manage our primaries on behalf of the party, and that is the National Working Committee. Now, when the NWC creates these primaries committees, they're given the authority to go out and conduct primaries on behalf of the NWC. At the end of their work, their duty is to report to the NWC and submit, their reports, their assessments, whatever other documents they have from the field to the NWC. Now, it is then the duty of the NWC to sit, in committee and review all of those reports and then, officially approve them, and adopt them as the, outcome of, the primaries. That has been the process. So what I think is confusing for the public is this idea that, there was some suggestion that announcements should not be made in the field. Now, if you really think about it, it is consistent with what I said, that, it is the NWC ultimately that has the authority to declare results for the party, because the committees are, committees of the NWC. So they must report back, and NWC must formally adopt those reports for it to then become official. So that's really the position with respect to these primaries.
So Nigerians can trust the results they have so far. There will be no changes at the end of the day when the NWC finally comes out with its official version of the results.
the NWC will sit, review the reports, and approve the reports as in exercise of its authority, as I said, as the manager of the party's primary elections.
Okay, let's come to the what some Nigerians, indeed some analysts, have referred to these primaries. Let me quote one analyst saying, look, the APC primaries are a dangerous erosion of our democratic values. Some others say it was just a charade. Many say it actually falls short of what you would expect, as internal democracy of a party, especially when it's just at the primary level. They're saying if at the primaries you have allegedly impositions, so-called consensus, and all of that, what should we expect at the general election? In your estimation, how democratic really have the primaries been so far of the APC?
The primaries across the board have been in substantial compliance with the constitution of our party, with the Electoral Act, and with all other laws that are relevant to the conduct of our primaries. Ngozi, look, when you do an election on the scale that our primaries have been, with the massive number of applicants who bought our forms and who competed in this process, listen, everybody went into that contest hoping to win. When they don't win, they have reasons to be, disappointed or to be upset or to be, somewhat jaded. But that's, again, not anything that's unusual. Whether it's within the APC or other parties or any contest for that matter, whether it's soccer, anywhere there's contest, people, are bound to feel disappointed when they don't succeed. Does that mean the process itself was flawed to the degree that, you can use some of the words you used in reference? I don't think so. What I know to be true, and by the way, I've been in the field monitoring these primaries. I was supervising the primaries in Rivers State and in Bayelsa states. In Rivers State, everywhere I went, the primaries happened flawlessly. Now I'm speaking, I'm testifying as a witness to what happened. Now, my colleagues have also testified to what happened elsewhere. Look, no election is ever without its own challenges and some hitches and hiccups here and there. We had, some of those episodes in certain places. But because I can tell you that for the most part, the primaries went on exactly as it should. But look, people will make comments. And by the way, consensus, what is wrong with that? Why do we frame the consensus arrangement as though it's something that is invidious? It's not invidious. It's a process that is mandated also by the Electoral Act. It's not just an invention of the APC. We had that in our constitution quite all right before the Electoral Act was passed, but it's a part of the law. So if we use that model in certain places to determine outcomes, that is valid as the direct primary model. And in many cases, we use the direct primary model, which was also permissible under our constitution and mandated under the Electoral Act. So there's nothing we've done that anyone can just dismiss or approximate to be some anti-democratic process. It's not. They may quarrel with the outcome, depending on who they are, whether they won or didn't win. But look, at the end of the day, these are all party men and women, and our mechanisms to bring the party back together after this sort of internal competition is already triggered, and in some cases, people are already at work. So I'm hoping that we're going to, I think, slow this down and lower the tempo so we can come together again and move forward towards the general election.
Great you say that. I mean, there's a pattern that seems to have been a departure from the normal pattern in the case of Rivers State. Fubara, I'm sure you expect this point to be made. I mean, all governors that actually defected from other parties to the APC got automatic tickets, except for Fubara in Rivers State, who also defected from the PDP to the APC. And many are asking exactly why has this not, why has this automatic ticket not applied to Governor Fubara of Rivers State? And then again, very quickly, no consensus for the President Bola Tinubu. Apparently, you're having direct primaries in the case of President Bola Tinubu, he has a competitor. Why is there no consensus in the case of President Bola Tinubu? Very quickly.
First about the automatic tickets. Look, you are the one telling me. I'm not aware of any governor who got automatic tickets. All our governors either, have emerged through, a competitive process or through, a consensus model, depending on where they are. In my state of Delta, yesterday I was, standing shoulder to shoulder with my governor, who, was, on the ballot for primaries yesterday. And, his people stood behind him like they did across all of the wards of Delta State to vote for him. So, we didn't have any tickets that was given on a platter. Every governor who won this primary competed at primaries. Now, about the presidential primary, yes, we did elect to do the direct primary model because we had, a citizen who purchased our form, expressed interest to compete for the office of president, and we decided that we put that, in play for, citizens and party members across the country, across all of the wards tomorrow, to go out and, cast their vote for either Mr. President or for the gentleman who is an aspirant for the office of, president. So tomorrow we will witness that primary, and hopefully at the end of the day have an outcome that the people have, dictated.
Mr. Moka, is it just a case of let's just fulfill all righteousness in the case of the president? I guess I'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight. Felix Moka is the APC National Publicity Secretary.